What's up, guys? Welcome back for another reaction video. So I'm checking out how to make English people mad. An American in England. Okay, and the video is taken from the Ixon Diaries. Okay, guys, yes, I can really check it out. So if you're new to the channel, guys, welcome. So let's see what could make English people mad. Let's see.
Today, I want to talk about things that you can do as an American expat that will really make English people mad. Calling football soccer or saying it's just a game. Football here in England is not just a game. It is actually a religion. It is such a cultural thing, and it's based around the community that you grew up in, the community that you live in. For a long time, everyday workers, the only thing that they had in their community, other than the pub, was to go to a football match on Saturday. And they would go to the pub for a couple hours beforehand. They go to the game. You literally would walk because it's in the middle of town and all of the housing and everything is built around the stadium. And you would go and you would enjoy the match. And then you would hopefully enjoy the match if your team won. And then you would go back to the pub and either celebrate or drown your sorrows and then go back to your family for the rest of the day and the rest of the weekend. And that was really what you had to look forward to for a lot of workers for a long time here in England. And so it just is ingrained in the culture here in England where if you're a football fan, you are that football fan for life. And even if you move outside of that community, you still have a sense of loyalty to that football club. And it is something that is very, very personal to you and it's very important to you and your way of life and how you are and what you do with your life. It becomes part of your identity almost. And it is so insulting to call it soccer because it's cut a completely different culture around the game.
I can understand what she's saying because with England calling soccer is football, just like here in Jamaica. It's football for us, it's not soccer. We say football as well, and we are similar in that way where like when it comes to football, like people take it very serious here, and you have so many league, especially in the school. You have at least 4 different league that play in the school, and people take it really serious, and it's a very competitive game out here, football. Like I can relate with England on this because it's same here in Jamaica. Like we take football so serious. We have so many league from the primary school. They have league go right up to high school, college, then all the different Premier Leagues and competition in the community with football. So yeah, we're with England with that. Yeah.
In
Can
America than it
relate.
is just about in the rest of the world. But particularly here in England, it is so ingrained in the culture, it's such a huge part of local culture and local
It
community that if
is.
you call it soccer or you call it just a game, it's actually extremely
It's
insulting.
just, it's football.
Mistaking English people for Irish, Australian, or Welsh.
Ah,
I have a hard time with accents here.
ah,
I sort of know that they're all British or under the Great Britain flag, but I still have a hard time with determining where in the region they are and things like that. And I have made this mistake a lot. Most people that I know have been somewhat lovely about it because you can tell that I'm a foreigner and I'm not very familiar with it. Even people who are like from the north of England, to be said that they're from the south or the Midlands, even in England, is kind of an insult to them, and vice versa. So it's probably best to not assume that you know where they're from, and to not even ask and just wait to see if they tell you. The next one is jumping the line or the queue. So if you do this even mistakenly, you're gonna get ripped apart for it. The British on a whole are very polite and very understanding as a culture. But when you don't wait your turn, whether it be driving, whether it be
uh,
waiting online in an event, waiting online at the store, or even in the like unspoken queue or line at a pub, if you're not waiting your turn or you're not saying, hey, are you next, and that kind of thing, and being that polite and that aware of the rest of the people in the environment, you are going to get ripped something rotten. They are very, very, very particular about their cues and lining up and waiting your turn. And it's considered a huge, rude disruption of society for you to jump the line. But just being polite in general, this one kind of goes with jumping the line, but it's also worth having a separate conversation about saying pleases, saying thank yous, holding the door for someone, acknowledging, if someone's behind you or if you almost run into them, saying sorry, things like that. It is really, really frowned upon to not acknowledge the sense of community here. It's all about keeping things calm, keeping things, going, and letting the community run the way it's supposed to run, and trying to keep it at a very just minimal, low volume level, and avoiding conflicts wherever you can. The community here is very, very focused on doing your thing and just carrying on with it and making sure it doesn't disrupt other people around you if at all possible. So make sure that if you are in England or you're in this type of environment, that you're saying your pleases and thank yous. These are things you probably should do anyway, no matter where you are, even if you're not in England. But particularly here in England, it's very, very frowned upon if you're not saying your pleases and thank yous, if you're being rude to someone for no reason.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I was going to say these are things that you should do anyway. Saying please, thank you, and try to live low key, that you would not disturb or disrupt another person's life or way of living. And, mannerism in everything, like, it goes a long way. Yeah.
Or throwing a little temper tantrum or something like that, just because someone
It's a
said
big
something wrong or did
deal.
something wrong. The community will get involved in those cases, because it's all about keeping the community in a safe and calm culture around you. So make sure you're putting that extra effort in if you're ever in this environment. Thinking that London is like the only place in England or the most representative place of England. Not. Don't get me wrong. London is beautiful. And it was the center of the world for a very long time. And it is kind of a little bit at center of the world still, again, because it's such a port from the eastern to the west. I don't know if I'm doing it on the right sides, but the east to the west sides of the world. But as beautiful and as lovely and as historic and as many things as there are to do there, it is still only one small fraction of what England really is. The countryside in itself is absolutely divine. The northern cities are beautiful as well, and there's a lot of history involved in those. And the coastlines are absolutely stunning and definitely deserve their due and deserve tourist attention. Yes. All types of castles and estate homes and remnants of Roman influence in Roman buildings and structures all over the country. So for you to just assume that London is England and you know everything about England just from visiting London is usually an insult to the UK culture, and it's particularly an English culture. So just make sure that if you do have the opportunity to venture out, that you take advantage of it. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Having a bad cup of tea. I get yelled at a lot because I don't know how to make tea properly, apparently. And so now I kind of don't even offer. And it's not necessarily that I'm trying to be rude by not offering you a cup of tea, but I know how particular British people are about their tea. I'll put the kettle on, I'll put the cups out, I will serve it to you once it's made. I'm happy to do that for anybody. I will have tea on hand ready for anyone that comes to visit. More than happy to do that for anybody here in England. But as far as actually putting all the ingredients together, stirring it properly, making sure that the right amount of milk is in it and that it's in at the right time and all that kind of stuff, it's so specific and particular, not just to the culture, but to each individual person. So I have a hands-off approach to it. I'm sorry, but you're on your own. Because if you make someone a bad cup of tea, you are going to ruin their day. Trying to imitate a British accent, if this is something that you actually have a knack for, then I don't think it would be insulting at all. But if you're like an American
making someone a bad cup of tea gonna ruin their day. Wow, I can just imagine. Well, I would just prepare the ingredients and then let they make the tea themselves. I would just put the hot water, the tea bag, or coffee or whatever. No, coffee is not tea. I would just put the tea bag, whatever mint or tea they desire. I would just provide it, and with the hot water, with the sugar or the milk, and then they do the stirring and make that, because I sure wouldn't want to upset anyone if they're that serious about it. Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't want to give anyone a bad cup of tea. So I would just prepare everything, and then you just go ahead, go to the table and just make your tea. Oh, exactly the way oh you want it. Okay. I would not want to do
Ruin your
that.
day. Trying to imitate a British accent. If this is something that you actually have a knack for, then I don't think it would be insulting at all. But if you're like an American and you're trying to do a British accent, it comes off very,
Oh,
very bad. It's almost like you're mocking them and they take it personally. So
yeah.
it's probably best just to not even do it. My personal experience that from American perspective, you typically would only get like a Cockney accent or a very posh accent in most of like the movies and media and stuff. And those
Mm.
are only two out of like 1,000 accents that are here in England. So, assuming you know is not the first thing is going to be insulting, but secondly, also trying to intimidate it in a way that's not a banter way, like in a way that you're not, if you're not in comfortable company and it's somebody that you don't know very well and you're trying to imitate the accent, that would definitely come off as rude. So, I would avoid it at all costs. Invading someone's personal space. Now, space is at a premium here in England. There's not a ton of it. But if you are, in town or something like that, or at an event, and you are right next to somebody, if it's not crowded, that's a problem. If it's crowded, obviously, then there's not many places you can go and people are pretty understanding. But if you're like at a coffee shop or something and you're sitting down, you sit down at a table right next to someone else when there's plenty of tables on the other side of the room,
Oh,
kind of considered rude because you're kind of invading
wow.
their space when you don't really have to. Just things like that at the bar as well. You don't sit at the bar stool right
Oh.
next to someone unless you're in that group or you're with that person. You would have a bar stool next to them, in between you two. On public transportation, you wouldn't sit at a seat right next to somebody else. If the entire car has seats available, you would go to someone else, go to a different seat and have some space in between you and the other people that are on the car, if at all possible. It's considered very rude to kind of be in someone's personal space like that in a public setting. There you have it, guys. Those are the things that I have found from my personal experience of living here in England as an American expat that really will get English people mad. Whether you're visiting, whether you're living here, or you're just trying to learn a little bit more about the culture, just take heed of a couple of those things so you can avoid some of the mistakes and uncomfortable situations that I found myself in
Wow,
while I've
guys,
been here.
that was really good. I should enjoy her video, guys, because she did lay out a couple things that you, as a tourist, a visitor to the country, you would definitely know not to do, especially the with like invading someone's space. Like from what she said, like if once their space, other place, other where in the bar or the balls or anywhere you guys at, once there's space there, go ahead, give yourself a little distance from the person. Like don't just go sit beside them or near them. That's like invading their space. So that I would definitely keep in mind if I was to travel to England. And with the accent, oh, I don't know the accent different. I don't know which is which. I just know it's British accent. And like you said, there's like so many different British accents. So that's, I would not ask, like, are you from this part of here or that part of here? That I definitely would not ask because I wouldn't want to offend anyone either. Like, because I don't really know them, I would probably let them volunteer and tell me. I don't know. All right, guys. I sure find this video interesting, guys. The link will be in the description as always. If you want to go ahead and check out the video for yourself. All right. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to live, love, laugh, and to learn. And I will catch you in another reaction video, guys. Bye.